Good evening. Good evening, my friends. I hope everybody had a good time. This is the 7 p.m. version of what we normally do. I have been most busy. And I want to talk to you about some things right now, and I want you to understand my question to you is simply this. There are many of you who exhibit absolute, indescribable fealty to, we're starting a little early, good. We don't do that too often, but I'm starting a little early. This fealty that you normally feel towards President Trump. Why? I want to ask you a question, and it's important that you recognize this. Are you saying this because you believe it to be true? Or are you saying it because it's just fun to be for Trump and something you've always done? Or do you really believe, do you have some information I don't know, something that I would like to be aware of, that we can look to perhaps explain why it is that you're feeling such incredible exuberance over his particular plight? Because I don't get it. I don't know what you're looking at. I don't want this to be true. But everybody that I know in the biz, anybody who has any rational sense of rationality, knows very simply this, that the president is in serious trouble. So what is it? What is it? Thank you, Anna. Pierino, ¿cómo está? ¿Cómo está? What is it that you believe that you're hearing that I don't know about? Tell me. What is it that you're hearing? What is it? Because I don't know where all of this excitement is coming from, and he's going to beat him. It's like, where are you getting this from? No, you don't understand. No, you don't understand. I was reading this, I think somebody sent me something. They're saying, well, they're reading this Presidential Records Act. It's like, okay, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I hope this judge goes ahead and dismisses it in a pretrial motion. Dear God. I don't know what they would do. 37 counts, all of them go by? All of them? So this remains to be seen. If this man, if this prosecutor is as bad as he would have to be to allow, to basically have charged and indicted the president with something that gets dismissed because it's the improper statute, when you've got the entire Department of Justice backing him up saying, we'll figure this one out. Someone says it's the only hope we have. I don't want you to have hope. It doesn't work like that. I want facts. I don't want hope. I want hope and reality. Look, I don't want to see him. I would love nothing more than to see these charges just dismissed. To see these people have to figure out, now what do we do? Now what do I do? How do I explain myself away from this nonsense? But I've got to tell you something. This is the most incredible time ever. What is happening right now is just, it blows my mind. I am unable to grasp the fact that they are doing this to a president, any president, not just Trump, any president. Amazing. Did you see this big drudge headline? Kingdom and China, Saudi, undermine USA in Mideast. Saudi move to raise oil prices backfires. China has been ramping up its economic, diplomatic, and military activities, encouraged by Saudi Arabia's Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Did you see this? The U.S., this is from the Jerusalem Post. The U.S. has always had a complicated relationship with the Middle East. But after years of U.S. military intervention in the region and an ongoing Cold War-like relationship between Saudi Arabia's de facto ruler, MBS, and the Biden administration, China is stepping in to fill the regional diplomatic role that was once the exclusive domain of the United States. Are you seeing this? Do you see what is happening? This is MBS. Wow. Wow. The Great Reset is here. Isn't that something? The Great Reset is here. My friends. Trump promises food for everyone at restaurant. No one got anything. Did you hear this? This is terrible. After his indictment Tuesday, Trump went into a Miami restaurant, Versailles, for an impromptu rally with supporters. When he declared food for everyone to adoring fans, he was met with cheers. But according to a report in a Miami publication, the ex-president never picked up the bill and left within 10 minutes without buying food for his supporters. Trump aides have now denied. Oh, my God. Can they let the man alone? Can they? Look at this. Stocks are on a high. Microsoft on a course to smash all-time record. Microsoft? What is happening here? Unbelievable. Synthetic human embryos created in groundbreaking advance. It's not nice to fool Mother Nature. Oh, my Lord. No sperm or eggs. Google warned staff about chatbots. Alphabet Incorporated is cautioning employees about how they use chatbots, including its own Bard, at the same time as it markets the program around the world. The Google parent company, this is according to Microsoft, this is from Reuters. Anyway. I'm not even going to mention anything about AI because it's a waste of time. Nobody really gets AI. Nobody really understands AI. Cancer rates rising among young people. It's not clear why. Why? Why do you think that is? I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say. There's so much bad news. So much incredibly bad. Joe Biden raises money for re-election campaign in Hollywood. In sickness and in stealth, Melania shrinks from the limelight. Newsom wife reveals she killed older sister in tragic golf cart incident. Wait a minute. Hold it. Wait a minute. This sounds like Laura Bush. Remember that? Remember Laura Bush? Remember that one? Where is this? Hang on a minute. Very strange, very weird. I'm getting a commercial for something I don't. Newsom wife reveals. I don't know where it is. Why I'm getting this. I'm getting this commercial. Anyway. Let's go through the rest of the news, shall we? So one thing about Drudge, you got to hand it to him. It's kind of interesting. You look and see. It's like what is on there? What is on their main thing? Now let's look at CNN.com. Get an idea of what CNN cares about. Judge Cannon jumpstarts oversight of Trump classified documents case with order on security clearances. This is the judge in the Miami case. Is this something else? This is Judge Cannon. This is Judge Eileen Cannon issued her first order since President Trump pleaded not guilty to charges. In a Thursday order, Cannon gave all attorneys of record and forthcoming attorneys of record deadline for getting in touch with the Justice Department's litigation security group so they can expedite the necessary clearance process. Interesting. By the way, you ever notice how they always say, the president pled not guilty? The president pled not guilty. Well, of course. Yes, but he pled not guilty. He pled not guilty. Why did he plead not guilty? Because if he pleads guilty, it's over. Oh, yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah, I didn't think you'd think about that. I did a brand new video today called JFK the Mystery. What is that all about? Oh, and I've got some great stuff from people. Great, 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 great stuff from all kinds of folks. I hope you're going to the site itself, the LionelNation site, to look at my videos that I do. And I'm Mr. Thumbnail. I'm enjoying thumbnails like crazy. I've just discovered thumbnails. Sparky says recent stock highs are largely due to inflation. Thank you, Sparky. You're a good man, Sparky. I don't care what they say about you. You're a good man. I'm very worried about you. I'm very worried about you when I hear things like, we don't want to lose hope. What is this? Hope. What does hope have to do with anything? You do understand that, right? What do you think God is going to do when you start synthetically making people? What is God going to do when all of a sudden you can superimpose artificial intelligence into protein things? When do you traverse the line? Sparky says you will own nothing and like it. Get back in your assigned pod. I think you're right about that. What do you think God says about that? Do you believe that? Do you think God is going to say, okay, now you've done so much? When has ever God intervened? I'm not asking this. Please do not think I'm being an atheist. I'm not an atheist. I'm going to ask you a question. You know more about this than I do. When has God ever intervened and said, all right, that's enough? Has God ever intervened in genocide? Or does God say, I don't intervene. That's your business. I gave you free will. Yes, but we're praying that you intervene. I don't intervene, sorry. But what are we praying for? I don't know. That's your people. That's your people. You're the one. You're trying to serve. You do things and don't even care. You don't do anything. All of a sudden, you come along and you say, hey, we're going to do this. Nature sometimes allows what you do, sometimes it doesn't. Nature sometimes gets in the way, sometimes it doesn't. Nature does a lot of stuff. But when is there any kind of, all right, that's enough. Now you've done it. How do you know this? I want to know this. There's something very frightening about this. There's something very wrong, and I'm seeing it. Over and over and over. When people start to play God, dare I say, with how humankind works. I see it constantly, and it never ceases to amaze me. It never ceases to amaze me. You understand that? When does God ever say, that's enough? You can't do that. You're not going to make babies in test tubes. That's not the way I want it. That's not natural. Or does God say, listen, if you can figure out how to do it, you do it. Good luck. I hope nothing goes wrong. I hope nothing goes wrong. I hope you're not going to, you're doing in vitro fertilization, you're doing test tube babies, you're doing all kinds of other stuff. I never wanted you to do that. How does this work? How does this work? I don't understand this. When God comes in and says, excuse me, what are you doing? Yes, what do you mean, God? Well, why are you having babies so late in life? What do you mean? Why are you having babies so late? You should be having babies when a woman hits menarche, when she has her first period. That's when she's ready. That's when she's fertile. Wait a minute, God, what are you talking about? She might be 15 years old, 12, 13 years old. So? What do you mean? What do you mean so? So? This is nature. I don't know about, what, is there an age for this? God, she's not emotionally mature enough. What does maturity have to do with anything? I'm talking about the perpetuation of the species. Sodom and Gomorrah. Why did God burn and destroy Sodom and Gomorrah? Why was Lot's wife cast into a pillar of salt? What was the indiscretion? What did God do? What did God do? What was the reason for the destruction of Sodom y Gomorrah? Tell me. Especially people who mention it. If you mention it all the time and you can't tell me the reason why, ooh, somebody's going to be upset. Why was it? What happened? What was the no-no? What was the uh-oh? Now you've done it. What was it? What was it? I'm waiting to hear this. Come on, you bring it up. Homosexuality. Nope. Nope. Try again. What was it? Come on. I'm serious. I'm fascinated by people who use references to things and they don't. What do you think it is? Sin City. Nope. Nope. Laura Floyd says, I know why. Well, let's see, Laura. What's the reason for Sodom and Gomorrah? What? What was it? This is important. I want somebody to write it down. We have a hen that lays her eggs very late in the day. Wow. They had no kindness. Nope. Come on, this is your book. This is your story. This is critical. You cite it all the time. Let's hear it. Come on. What's going on here? How come I know this? Did you ever look it up? Nope. False prophets? Wrong. Wrong. Nobody's still going to look it up. Okay, let's try it again. What was he upset? What did they say? What did the crowds people say? What did the crowd say? Remember when the angel came? Remember that one? Why? What was the real reason? Okay, hang on a minute. Remember this? Okay, just a second. No, it's not it. Flood. Remember this one? Oh. I love it. Look at this. Wait a minute. Oh, here we go. Come on. Let me read. I just found the quotation. Let me go back and look and see this. I love when people say this. Hang on a minute. Where are you? There. No, that's not it. Where are you? Where the hell did you go? Where did you go? Hang on a minute. There we go. Sparky says lack of righteous men. Nope. Couldn't find sinless man. Nope. Mary Fernandez, no idea. You're closer. The act of sexual assault, murder, theft, idolatry. No. Nope. Homosexuality. Nope. No man is worshiping false gods. They wanted to know his sons. Wait a minute. Hold it. Dave the Wave, we're getting closer. Wait a minute, not his sons. We're getting closer. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah is one of the favorite passages of persons who oppose same-sex behavior. It occurs in Genesis 19, 1 through 29. However, two earlier passages are prelude to this. In Genesis 13, 12, 13, the text says that the people of Sodom were wicked, great sinners against the Lord. Also, in 18, 16, 21, it says God informs Abraham, how great is the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah, and how very grave their sin. However, neither text explains what makes these cities sinful. So readers must infer the nature of the sinfulness from the story told in Genesis 19. Here's the story. Abraham's nephew, Lot, lives in Sodom. Two angels in the guise of men come to Lot's home in Sodom. Lot invites them to spend the night in his home. At first, the two angels say they prefer to spend the night in the town square, but Lot is able to persuade them to come inside his home, presumably where it is safer. Before they all go to bed, the men of Sodom, both young and old, all the people and the last man, surround the house and demand that Lot send out his two guests so that we may know them. Lot tries to dissuade the mob from its course. even offering his 2 daughters to them. But the crowd dismisses Lot as alien and tries to seize him. The 2 angels pull him back inside the house to safety, and then they strike the men outside with blindness. The next morning, the angels lead Lot's family out of the city. Then God pours down sulfur and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah, destroying them. One of the absolute no-nos is the mistreatment of the guests. Do you understand that? Sparky, thank you for this. It's the mistreatment of the guest, the host, this. In the Middle East in particular, even though today, you go anywhere. If you're in Israel, I don't know about Ramallah or the Palestinian side or Arab, but if you're in Israel and you go to anything, if you have a meeting, whatever, they always have something to eat, always have cooking. There's always this, oh, you're welcome, you're the guest. It's hardwired. And the idea that the crowd came out and says, bring him out so that we can know him, so we can know them. And Allah says, no, take my daughters, please. It's like any young man. They go, no, we want. And it was because of that mistreatment, that horrible. That's what did it. Not the overall, you guys are wicked and terrible thing. No. Never happened that way. No. Kind of loses the story, doesn't it? Doesn't it lose the story? Doesn't that kind of lose the story? And what's also interesting is that nobody ever investigated this. Nobody ever looked. Nobody ever read this. There's a wonderful book by Kenneth C. Davis called Don't Know Much About the Bible, and it's fascinating about how many things are not in there, but we don't know. And nobody has ever read this. Nobody's ever read the context of this. Sparky says, I think that Phoenix City, Alabama was once approximately named Sodom. Nobody reads this. Nobody wants to say, no, let me read the contextual part of this. Let me see if I understand this. It's always been that way. And there's this idea of what Lot's daughters, they wanted to get him drunk and have sex with him because they thought this was the end of the world. I mean, it's wild. That doesn't negate the existence of God or anything like that. But the point is, isn't it interesting that people who claim to know the Bible don't even have no clue? Never studied it, never took a class, never said, let me go through this. Let me hear somebody go through the shades and nuances of the Gospels. What does this mean? What does that mean? And what's the difference between, let's say, King James versus this? What does it mean? Why do we disregard the Pentateuch? Why are the prohibitions against dietary restrictions? Why did Christians just, I don't know, refuse to follow it? Why? It's interesting to note there is so much there, so much. Just Google, but don't read one thing. See if you can watch, if you can see references to people who have tried to refer to something. To the best is the devil. The best example is when you say, where do you find it that the devil, Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub, the prince of darkness, where the devil is responsible for the horrors of the world? Where is it? Where is the devil? Tell me, who extrapolated this? Where is it? Where did this vision come from? Where did this image come from? Where did the visage? It was taken from Pan. They use all kinds of pagan imagery. It's shifted and it's fascinating. But people are very good at creating and following mythology, or what they think is the story. They think it's. You don't know anything unless somebody really explains to you If you want to take on something of this note, there were biblical scholars and go through it page by page, comparing one to the other and what this one meant. And it has nothing to do with the existence of God, but it has a lot to do with the existence of the actual factual application of the text. And it goes to show you people don't read the Constitution. I was talking to somebody today, and I'm bringing up Mike. I said, well, let me show you this. Let me show you what this section is. I said, have you ever read this? And people, the Federalist Papers? Or, no, I don't need to. I don't need to read things. I just know things. I just know things. I know that vitamin C you take when you're feeling sick. Why? I don't know. Well, who said it? Well, they say that. I guess they say these things. I don't know. I just don't know where these things come from. I don't. The one that gets me, the one that people freak out the most about is when you say to them, oh, you try this. I said, you probably think olive oil is good for you, don't you? Don't you? You think it's a monounsaturated fat. You think it's heart healthy, don't you? You believe in it, don't you? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You believe in olive oil. Because somebody told you this. You have this idea that olive oil is good. You don't know where it came from. You're not really sure why. You don't really know. You're not sure. But by God, you heard it someplace. I read it someplace. I don't know. I'm Italian. Really? Yes. And they say that, boy, Sparky, you're on fire. When I was in the Mideast in the 80s, treating your guests with grace and security was a very noticeable part of the culture. Oh, absolutely. This is a fascinating. But let me go back of how this is about the notion of ontology. This is about the epistemology. How do you know what you know? How do you know it? What are you repeating? What are you saying? How does this thing work? What is this about? I cannot tell you how many times I've said, Jesus said brothers and sisters. Stop, don't say that. I know he didn't. I went to Catholic school. What does that have to do with anything? Nobody ever says, I didn't know that. May I read that? Where did you learn that? Thomas's ossuary. What? How come I didn't know this? I don't know. See, that's one of the reasons, and listen carefully. One of the reasons why people hate you so much, especially when you come up with these conspiracy theory things, as you call them, is because they didn't know this. They didn't know this, and you make them look bad. How many times have you ever talked to somebody before and said, 9/11 was a bad day. It was never forget. Never forget the Pentagon. Oh, the Pentagon. Remember Flight 93, Shanksville? Yep. 2 towers, yeah. And Building 7. What? Building 7. What? 5:20 p.m.? Huh? There was an organization called BuildingWhat.com. That was the name of it. Building What. And the reason why they called it that was I went to federal court for some FOIA reports or something. The federal judge said, building what? Isn't that something? And when you tell them, well, building what? And they get mad. They get mad because, well, I don't know what you're talking about. So you know what? You're wrong. You're crazy. You got it all wrong. You're just a pinheaded, bumble-headed conspiracy theorist. Why? Because you're making me look bad again. You're bringing up something I don't know anything about. I have no idea. Ask anybody about anything. What was the Civil War about? Was it about slavery or was it about states' rights or what was it? Did Lincoln want to free the slaves? Well, did he? Did he? Does the Bible say that Mary and Joseph never had sex? She was a virgin? Well, no, she was born without original sin. Not that. Well, I didn't know that. Well, whatever. Okay, I don't know. Nobody ever says, I don't know. They always answer the question, the problem with this is because of you see, the Constitution. No. And you hear somebody say, how did I know that? Do you ever have somebody in your family say something, bring up something about a fact or somebody, and you say, that never happened. It didn't. And they remember what they last They remember the last time that either they heard it or they remember the last time they said it. So they're repeating the last time they said something. And basically, if you keep repeating something, you will basically destroy the story. Do you understand this? And you have so much information right now, so much that is available to you from so many sources. And I mean, it is incredible. I love, you get classes online. You can do, Yale, University of Chicago, whatever it is. Just basic histories of the history of the Bible. The Bible. Which Bible? Who wrote it? Where'd you get it from? Is it the Greek Bible? Is it this Bible? Or were there any words that were mistaken, taken out of context? What does it mean? And if you're a Catholic, you never look at the Bible. Never read the Bible other than St. Paul. St. Paul of the Corinthians, St. Paul of the Ephesians, St. Paul of the Paulian. Listen to me. If you profess to believe in something, know the rules. It will bring you closer to it. It has nothing to do with your faith. It has nothing to do with your belief in God. Nothing to do with that. What it has to do with the text. Scholars love the text. What does it say? Where did you get this from? Why do we say these things? Sparky's on Fire says most vegetable oils weren't used for food until the shortage of animal fat in the late 1800s due to the population explosion, which was largely due to better medical care. Canola oil is the worst. Let me try to tell you something, and listen to me very carefully. Let me see if I can tell you something. Do yourself a favor and listen to me. No oil. What? No oil. That's the goal. That's the goal. If you can do that, you're so... You need oil. No, you don't. Yeah, you do. No, you don't. It's for your skin and you... No, you don't. No. You see how you kind of fill in the blanks. You think, well, I like oil, so I'm gonna, or I'm just gonna fight back. I'm just gonna fight back because my favorite is I'm Italian. What does that have to do with anything? I don't know, but I'm just gonna say that. Question everything. Make sure you know what you're asking, and always ask yourself, answer this question. How do I know what I know? How do I know what I know? How do I know what I know? Why do I say this? Why am I saying this? What is this about? How do I know this? Because somebody said it? Well, let's research this. People are not researchers. People don't read. It's the weirdest thing. Be an autodidact. Read it, find it, get to the bottom of something. It's wonderful. There's so many great lectures. Not from some kid in a bedroom with a podcast, but university lectures and prophets. Whatever. I love to hear Islamic explanations. I love to hear Jewish in the Hebraic tradition. I love to hear what they have to say. I love it. I was listening to a person I know, a friend of mine, who's a Marxist. He was giving lectures and listening to Marxism. I want to hear what they have to say. I'm fascinated by it. Doesn't mean I'm going to be a Marxist. I want to hear what they have to say. Remember what I'm telling you. You don't know half of what you think you know. You don't. I tell myself all the time, am I sure about that? Let me look this up. Is that the way it is? Let me look this up. You always see me doing it. How many times I look up the pronunciation of words? Is this the right word? Am I using this the right way? Am I making it? And people will just say these things. It's wonderful. Throw this out. It's like throwing up. Whenever I bring up food, I throw out. It's like throwing bread out, and all the fish, the carp, grunt, they jump and they attack, and they go crazy. They go crazy. I love it all the time because there's such strong faith without any basis of fact. Just hearsay and lore and mythology. I love it. Please don't ever change. Thank you for that. You have made my day, made my night. You are so wonderful. I thank you. So let me say, Sparky, you have been just wonderful tonight. You have been so nice to me. Thank you so much. You're a good, good, good person, Sparky. Thank you for this. Please read up about your Sodom and Gomorrah. Please, please do. Please. Find out really what you're talking about. And you know what? It will bring you closer to your faith. It will bring you absolutely closer to your faith. People go, no, it's okay. I'd rather not read it. No, I'm doing just fine. I read the Bible. Most people who say, I read the Bible, they never read the Bible. Never. They think they did, or they read a portion of it, but they didn't sit there and go, chapter 1, in the beginning. That thin paper. Boy, there's a lot of pages here. I'm going to read this. And then begat was out there. And Jehovah begat, and Herodotus begat, and Josephus. Okay, I'm almost done. That's another page down. I don't understand what I'm reading, but I'm reading the Bible because I said I would read the Bible. Okay. Where are we now? Acts. Oh, God. Okay, I'm almost getting there. And then blessed be He. Okay, God. Nobody's read it. Nobody. You're reading the Constitution? Oh, dear God. Why? You want to read the tonnage? Read the Federalist Papers. Those are even better. I love to know what I don't know. And I love when somebody says, that never happened. So, my friends, you have a great day. That's for you, Sparky. Thank you for this. And listen, there's nothing wrong with not knowing what's going on. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. And there's nothing wrong with having hope that President Trump is acquitted, so long as the hope doesn't obscure your ability to recognize reality. It's all I'm trying to say. It's all I'm trying to say. Okay? You got that? You got that? All right, dear friends. You have a wonderful and a great day. You've been just terrific. How about giving yourself a big round of applause, okay? And don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, starting a new day in a new way with more to say. All right, kids, have a great and glorious day. Thank you so much for everything you've done and everything you've attempted to do, even though you came up quite short. In any event, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget these words, this valedictory, this sayonara, this coda. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.